What's going on, guys? Let's get this started. Choose a language. Oh, I gotta confirm. Smarty. Have you played Stanley Parable before? No, but let's turn this up a little bit. Have you played? Nope. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. What do you mean the computer? Oh, that computer. Surprisingly, that's my barely visible. Surprise! Please enter the current time. 11:36. 11. 36. Note accessibility settings can be accessed to the menu. Well, now it's 37, but you know. You'll know. Alright. Begin the game. Let's do this. I do want to make sure the game isn't too loud, though. Alright, it's not. That's what I was worried about.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Oh.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid,
A little.
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, well, before anything, that was a little loud. Alright. Maybe. I don't know if that was loud or not. I have no clue. I feel like it was loud. I stepped out of my office, clicked buttons. Apparently I can click buttons from this far.
All his coworkers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Memo, gemmo. No
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his coworkers.
Where would these bitches be? Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Anybody? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I don't know. You will never know which way to go.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I want to go to my right, though? Like, serious question. What if I want to go to the right? Can I go to the right? I'm kinda want to know.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire.
Yeah, what if I want to? What if that's where I want to go?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been
Oh,
worth
yeah?
the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking. Aw, that was a clue for something.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
First open door to my left. That would be that door. What if I go straight? I don't want to go to dark room. What if I want to go in here?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's rude. I'm just curious, okay? That's all. I'm not bad at taking directions. I'm just curious. I'm just a curious boy. I'm like George. Curious George.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
I'd say.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
What if it's not about what I've forgotten and more about life, like
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
like life itself?
A man named Stanley.
Like, ever thought about that? No.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
But I want to.
I'm asking for her.
For who? Who's her? Who's her? Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Is it you you're looking for? You never know. And I'm going into a dark room that I do not want to go into. Oh,
You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Nope. Maybe. Can I just go? Bloop.
As Stanley picked up the phone,
Aw.
a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Oh, it did work.
That wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible?
Because I've smarter.
Were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Wow. Took you long enough.
I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choice. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely.
That's okay.
As though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
Nah.
I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Okay.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin
I don't
to wonder
know.
if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. First I need to change volume. Don't mind me.
This is the story of a man.
Yeah, it is. There we go.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. This way. This way, please. This way. Only this ways. And that way. Back the way we came.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying.
Well,
imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Well, what if I just want to go? Woo! What if I just, yeah, like, aww. I just wanted a free fall. That's all. That's too much to ask. I just want a free fall. The door does not open.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Okay. Sounds good. I guess I can accept that.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On the left, okay. I'm on the left. I'm in the boardroom.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I'm guessing this way.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, let's go. Yo, this is a nice place.
Stepping inside inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Sure, behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Oh, do I actually gotta speak it? Wait.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver.
Night Shark 115. Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You
I feel it.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
I feel
Just follow my
attacked.
lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set
Yeah,
of two
yeah.
open doors,
I walked through.
the door on his left.
Yes. Is there a problem? Wait. 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 Okay, never mind. I thought maybe something stupid.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly.
The
and always putting
what?
the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Yes.
he entered the door on his left.
Yes. On my left. On my left. On my left.
Yet there was
Yes.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always.
What
putting the
am I
story
doing wrong?
first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes, that is correct.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
What? Maybe I should start over. Maybe. Something's not adding up right. Okay,
all of his co-workers were gone.
there we go.
What did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. Alright, just head that way. We're all good.
When Stanley came to a set
Yup.
of two open doors,
To the left.
he entered the door on his left.
Yup. Just like I did. Yup.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yup.
Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Yup.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
Yup.
hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yup.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief.
My manager's office looks different. I'm
What
confused.
dark secret was being held
I'm
from him?
confused.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Do it. Give it to me.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random...
Oh my god!
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I don't see the newly opened passageway. I just see complete darkness. Oh, over here. I stepped in. I'm in. Down we go. Down we go. Down, 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 down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Well, I would hope not. That kind of, not gonna lie, that kind of made me jump. Those sparks.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But escape's over there. I want to go this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Cool. Bring it. What, the never-ending?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
What is this, just
At
never-ending?
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I got this. Let's go. Bring it to me. Oh. Well, I don't think he was lying. I think I actually died. I don't know. I'm alive. Oh, shoot. Where am I?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Well...
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ouch. Wait. What's this?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Well, that's true.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Wait, what? Was dead from Stanley's computer. Office layout. Wait. Nature paintings. Wait. The office. Solitaire. It's this way. What is this way?
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively. Good and bad game design. But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Stanley pushed the orange lever. Now then, this will get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story.
Huh, so this is like an Easter egg.
Stanley stood on the snow.
Stanley did this, Stanley did that. I don't even think I'm supposed to be here. In all honesty, but who knows? I'm in random places that I don't know if I'm even supposed to be. That's kind of cool. 7, 6, 5, 4. I pick up the phone with a different ending. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. If I do say so myself. The elevator. Now I'm confused. I have no clue where I'm supposed to be now. Not there. Not there. Maybe over this way. Nope. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Me stuck. That doesn't work. I'm so confused and I don't know where to go. I did something that I probably wasn't supposed to do. Do I know? No, I do not. Should I know? Probably. Will I? Nope. Don't think so. Oh, I didn't see this.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Yeet. What happened?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not.
Nope.
Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
I can't see anything.
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
Maybe there
As
is.
you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Was I supposed to? I'm not sure. I'm a little... I guess maybe I was. That's okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Let's go.
When Stanley
To
came
the left,
set
to the
two
left.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. To the left, to the left. To the left.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Nope.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Gonna look different again. No, look the same this time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Just give me the code.
What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf,
Wow.
paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad
Right here.
on the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known that.
Eureka!
By simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Maybe. There we go. Down we go. Take the elevator down. Because, you know, why not?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Fine.
Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Wow.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Not exactly, but let's see.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each
Whoa.
bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wow. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Would make sense.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Who knows? Maybe.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Nice. Let's do it. Let's mess them up. Was I supposed to turn it off, or was I supposed to turn it on?
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I just thought, psych. I stepped through and I just get some random animal eating me.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Was that it? There's no way that was it. So that was that. Okay.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
What happens
to
if we go
Perhaps he had simply
turn it on? I wonder. I wonder.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Yeah, we know.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
Kinda
walked
curious what's
upstairs
down.
to his boss's office.
Wait, what's down though? No, let's go up first. Again, and then turn it on and see what happens. And then...
The moment he entered his manager's office,
Oh crap, I forgot the
Stanley
code already.
froze in his tracks. Not a living soul
Oof.
anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too
Right,
much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half. Stanley
There we
was
go.
in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
I'm sorry.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Thanks. I wanted that. Down we go. Around and around
Stanley
and...
walked straight ahead through the large
Yeah.
door that read Mind Control.
That's where I was gonna go. Alright.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
Yeah,
windows
yeah.
and screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought.
Who
to
knows?
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, we'll see. Because we're turning it all on.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's
Nice.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Sadly.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Not no more.
No. He refused to
I'ma
believe it. He
turn that
couldn't
button
accept
on.
it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm turning that button on.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do, for example.
Oh, really?
And I believe you'll find this pertinent. Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going.
Where are we going?
I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-worker...
Well, yeah.
A moment of solace before your...
No.
I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell
Where
you
are they?
exactly what happened to them. I erased them.
Erased
Turned off the
them.
machine and
Erased.
set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Ouch.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Yeah.
Yes, only
Maybe.
34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
How much more? A minute 47.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Well, seems like it has been.
What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Well,
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
no, I've just been
Running
sitting
from
here.
button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons.
I sat here.
These colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Oh,
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in.
It doesn't work!
Until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Well, that's that. That happened.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'll go there again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
I'm going
he
down
entered
this
the
time.
door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Down.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
Nope,
to
down.
his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all?
True.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was
Oh,
so much
don't
fun,
even.
And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
Well, no.
of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it.
Just
He
wake
would
up.
prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Keep telling yourself that, Stanley. I walked into a wall.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Well,
in that moment,
not everyone.
She thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It
I'd
was
hope.
comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
I would too, not gonna lie. So, I'm guessing that was another ending that was not supposed to happen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
Wonder if I
to go to
can
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
turn it off.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, yeah.
Yet there was not a single
Okay.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Just like so. Oh, I can open that. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Okay. Okay. Oh. There's other ways. I'll go up. I'll go up more. Alright, come on. The elevator can't be this long. Seems like a really long elevator for no reason. Now what? Did I just randomly stop? Oh, I just randomly ended up back there. What happens if I go down? Go down? Oh, we still end up back in the same place. Okay, that's not exciting.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's the passageway. Kill Supreme.
Cool Supreme. Thank you. Alright. Couldn't skip this part either. Oh. Maybe so. Maybe.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, yeah. We know that. We also knew. We also knew.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
You know, if I was this narrator guy, I'd be mad.
Place hold, Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, yeah, but
now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Not a thing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Yep.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had
Maybe.
been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Possibly.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
But it's true.
His own life in someone else's control?
Yep.
Never. It
Yep.
was unthinkable.
Nope.
Wasn't it?
Nope.
Was it even possible?
Yep.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Possibly.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
But here.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or
1,
content.
2.
Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he
5.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Haha, there's one up there. 2, 1. There's one up there. There's probably 3. I don't know. I got time apparently to look for it, so that's okay. We'll look. We'll look.
And when at last he found the source...
Turn it on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Give it to me.
You were supposed to let it go.
No.
Turn the controls off.
Nope.
And leave.
Nope.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example,
Maybe.
and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the
Sweet.
event this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
I can do
It's
with
your
that.
time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
What number's up there?
Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off.
Looking
But
for
what
2.
precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you.
Apparently.
About me. Where we're going.
Oh, there's 3.
What all this means.
The other one over there was 4.
To start.
There's,
What's that?
oh, they're over
I'd like to
here.
know where your co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
No.
I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe
I don't
this
know.
big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
Maybe.
So this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
What do you mean?
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30
I was-
seconds until a big boom and then
I was supposed to go in here.
just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
I think.
Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Jesus Christ, it scared me. I swear that door. Because I don't think I come out that way. I think it's the door. But I'm going to start checking doors like crazy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm just like really checking doors this time.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Shut up. Sometimes there's hidden stuff. You've proven that.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Alright. Last time going this way, and then we'll go back to the right.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Unless we
grave
find
with
something.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his
There's a closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. Fair enough.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. To his boss's office. Everything's already open.
Just go.
Thank you. Can you give me the thank you? Down we go. I wonder about that door. The door's got me wondering. I don't think I come out of that door.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, yeah. So let's go to that door. We'll click that.
On an enormous room packed with television screens.
Television.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We'll see. Because I think I figured it the way.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That's okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yep. Exactly.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It
I
was
don't
unthinkable,
understand.
wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Maybe.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Okay, which way do I come out?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
The stairs.
Controls
So, yeah.
labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
So,
And
yeah,
as
the
cold
door.
reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would
The
never
door will
again
open.
exert its terrible power over another human life.
I think
For
that's
he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
the door I need, not gonna lie. So we'll turn it on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yep.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Yep.
Control?
Yep.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Oh.
You were supposed to let it go.
Okay.
Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Sweet.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Three. Over here. I don't know if that's what I need though.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your
I didn't do
coworkers
anything.
are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine and set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
I'm so confused.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley?
I don't know.
You have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Nope.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save
Maybe.
you. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10?
But
100? 1,000? I look
wire
forward
tells
to
me to
standing
go.
and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
I guess not. I guess not. We'll go one more to the right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting room. Let's go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No. I'm checking to see if there's stuff I missed.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, I'm just looking at stuff.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, there's a down thing here. I'm gonna go down. Because I haven't been down yet.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Are you sure?
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Excuse me.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Wow.
Now, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
You sure?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
But I still don't know the thing I'm supposed to do. How am I supposed to know if I don't know what frickin' way I'm supposed to go?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So maybe I did miss something.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Wait.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
So did I do it right?
Change. Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
There's so many doors, I'm lost behind them all. But it's white as balls right there. What's right here? This where I gotta go? Probably not.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
Well.
Do we need to restart the game again? Well,
No.
I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
So, then, where am I? I don't understand.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Well, sure. Just a couple spilled things of coffee.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The
What?
story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our step.
So confused.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all.
Neither do I.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
I won.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at
Aww.
all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those
I
situations.
tried.
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
So am
I
I.
don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Pretty simple, I'd say.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I'm so confused.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Why?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
It's a beautiful fern. Study, hard studies, long studies, all the studies, every inch of the fern, every little bit of that fern. I studied.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Probably not.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Restart.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Jump off a cliff.
Exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Sure. Let's do it.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Dinosaurs. Dino Nuggies.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
Okay, I won't acknowledge it. Went up to the ceiling, weirdly.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
Ooh.
How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So I know
La 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 la.
somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Who knows?
And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
To the right, eh?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes?
Wow.
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Weird.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on.
Right?
I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Then don't.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
I don't know.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey.
Right?
They're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Oh.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Oh, new content, eh? New content, should I? Oh, new content, let me peek.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Let me peek, let me see. Me interesting, me. Bring on the new content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Oh.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The
Nice.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Very excited.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Maybe. Or like our adventure so far, how it's been nothing.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's go. New content.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Give me the content.
All
Wait.
right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Wait, what? Alright, I'll just keep jumping, I guess. Cool, I jumped.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness.
Just randomly jumping.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Nope.
It's just elevators and jumping.
Yup.
Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Nope.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20
Yup.
hours of new content right there.
Right.
I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I
More
knew there
jumping.
had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Reading. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stan, this is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the games are cheap, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them
On
personally
Twitter.
accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with
okay.
me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about?
I'd like that.
Frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Like the good old
What
days.
do you say, friend?
Let's do it. Wait, it looks different. Still.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay. What's in the event? Wherefore are you taking me? And we're still
Okay,
going.
You remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Oh, wow.
Take a look.
Wow.
I'd call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
It's true. Made me think. Wow. Wow. Rest. Wow.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. Jane Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Wow.
It was literally every game ever created.
It was
Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all.
That's how it goes,
It
though.
isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
That's how it goes, though.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
And not many game developers notice that. A lot of games are perfect the way they were. And they just ruin it. It's just how it goes. Kinda sucks, not gonna lie.
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
All the bad memories, maybe? You know, just an idea.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor.
Uh-oh.
I haven't looked at these in years.
Steam
I
reviews.
can imagine what's been collecting down here.
Not always good.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
It's Steam. I don't know.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable.
Well, you
The game is
could.
already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Who knows? Just stick them wherever.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it, well, I always thought it did. But
Right.
maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Right?
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
A skip button we shall have.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue.
Okay.
It goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is.
It's just a bunch of jittering.
Until so much more than forever ago, which is why I say...
Get skipped.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourish and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise, or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
Yeah.
That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh,
Yep.
I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the
No,
first place.
they cannot.
I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review.
That'd be smart.
So that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say...
Just skip them.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But
yeah.
at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
Why?
I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it, and wait, how do we get out of here?
Exactly.
Where did the door go?
Wait, what?
Isn't there a door that led into this room?
Wait.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort.
Well, no.
Window or something like... Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole?
No.
Sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these.
No.
All I want is for us to move on and to
No.
step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear.
Well, yeah.
Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me.
Well, yeah.
We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment.
Okay.
I'm going to try to find us a door.
Okay.
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different...
Shut up.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
That's okay.
You
How can you?
there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
Okay.
I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those
Weird.
walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again.
Exactly.
I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch, and I have to believe. I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you?
You're right.
Thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you.
Clicked.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley,
It's been a week. I think it's been longer.
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Well, yeah.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Well,
Doesn't that feel
yeah.
like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed...
get skipped.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Welcome.
I've had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me
No.
describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past.
Wow.
And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took...
Gets skipped again. Wait. I don't hear him. What happened? I don't hear him.
But they didn't understand. The game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned. They screamed. They gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful...
You're going on about nothing, dude. Still nothing.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Skip. More silence. Jeez, what happened now? Jesus. Well, I can see daylight now. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I can see it. Oh, we now have plants growing inside. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, now it's dark again. I cannot see. Well, click the button. It is still dark. I still have no clue what's going on. Oh, well. The button's gone. The button's officially gone. No more. Just walk. I must find civilization. I must. I will. What the?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
New content. New. Oh, the new content. Alright.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
I agree.
Get this ultra deluxe nonsense? I say we take it one step even further.
Neon
Which is
lights.
why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
New
Now, to be clear,
features.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Well,
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really
Hi, I'm
see the
Jim.
full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person.
I am Jim.
Jim.
I am
want you to
Jim.
imagine yourself
I am
living as
Jim.
Sleeping
I
and
am
waking as
Jim.
Falling in love,
Jim.
and being heartbroken as Jim.
Jim.
Seizing all of the world's possibilities
Jim.
as Jim, and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel...
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim...
I was
you'll
ready to be
never
Jim.
understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay,
I was ready.
again, and this time let me finish first.
Okay.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally, dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I can
If
be a
so,
Jim.
Then please step forward and press the button.
I am ready to take the title of the name Jim. I am ready.
Jim.
Yes.
Yes, you see, what a thrill! That was you. The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
I am.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Okay. I still can't jump again. I've lost the ability to jump. Kind of upset about.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2.
Well, that's
that
true.
Would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Yeah, it would. Oh, the merch. No screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I've undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Stepneys. Get well someday. Yup.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Aww.
12th birthday step-niece it is.
Not what I wanted, but okay. Sure, we'll go with that.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
For a new easy achievement, put a lever, receive your new achievement. Okay.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken.
That sucks.
I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel. To
I hope.
satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I better. What's Alright, I'm guessing I gotta go back out.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
The jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Yep.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Okay. That's fair. Nothing's there. Something here? Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
And then you move on with your unremarkable life. Collect them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
What are you talking about? It's my favorite part. Infinity hole. I'ma go to a hole. There's an infinity hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right.
Oh, nice.
Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Nice. Down I go.
You see, isn't it wonderful?
It is.
More ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Nice. What else do we got? That was the infinite hole. I enjoyed it. Wait. The reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable
Reassurance bucket.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
I want a touchy. Yeah. I got it, Becky.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive.
Oh, thank you.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Cool. Why do
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Right, I'm kind of enjoying this bucket. Not gonna lie.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
I still don't know why I have a bucket. That's a no. I'm still confused why I have a bucket. I've got no idea. Maybe I gotta put the bucket back. Go somewhere else. Nope, I got the bucket. The bucket's mine. Okay. The bucket is mine. Now, I just got to figure out what to do with the bucket. Now, jump circle. The button that says your name while playing the game. That's new. Collectibles. It won't end. Maybe that's a way I got to go. Anything of that. Exit. This way. Maybe I'm supposed to take the bucket.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
Yep.
Ready to move on now?
Yep. Why do I have the bucket though? There's a hole in my bucket, dear Elijah, dear Elijah. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Elijah, a hole.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
I
give you
the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
Yep.
And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Well, yeah.
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up.
See what you got.
Go ahead. Take a look.
Alright. The Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
That'd suck.
Although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Sadly.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Out of the desk into the office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
Picked up the bucket. He threw the said bucket. Nope, I guess not.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered
Into the door on his left.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find
A bucket's
answers.
cold. 'Cause it's metal. The broom closet. Still nothing in it.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. Coming to the staircase, Stanley had walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay. It's over here. Still. Oh.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried.
So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I will. I will. I'll save your every moment.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
I did.
In his bliss of simply being
I definitely did.
Did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845? But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yeah,
Was
sure.
the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Was it? Are you sure?
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini stands.
Mini
stands.
What about Stanlerines? Yes.
No, mini
I think
stands.
like that. Another Stanlerine under your...
Nope, mini stands. I like the mini stands. That's what I like instead.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
So you think. Just kidding, maybe.
Stanley
Never
and the
know.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
The bucket has wonder things.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly
Wow.
burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
It's a bucket.
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Sure. We'll just power it off.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
Nice.
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Okay.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
Oh?
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way.
I'm going to the right.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Oh, I can go down there. Not sure if it's gonna do anything.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
True.
I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Okay.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
The bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Destroys buckets.
Spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Wow.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Sadly. Very magnificent. R.I.P. And we're back in the office.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand.
Well, I'd hope so by now.
Time before he found the others, where the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
I like the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
It was not.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it?
No.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I don't think I gotta go.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Like
Stanley
what?
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So would I.
In here,
said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Dark room. It's not that dark. Oh, this dark room.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Okay.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And
'Cause
then,
you've got a
distressing,
friend in
he
me.
began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
'Cause you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Take me back home with you.
I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
That's okay.
It doesn't do anything else.
That's okay.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore.
Nope.
From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket.
I
This
got a
sort
bucket
of
friend.
shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Right?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some
But I love
need
the
to point out
bucket.
ways in which it's so much more
I
than just
love
a
the
regular
bucket. It's my bucket. It'll be always my bucket.
Oh no. I'm
Ow!
having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what
Because
the
you
bucket
love
has
the
to say,
bucket.
do anything it asks.
You love
What's
the
wrong?
bucket.
I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
This troublesome situation. I gotta look for the bucket though. I've lost the bucket. There it is.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give
No.
it to me. Give me the bucket,
No.
Stanley. I need it.
No.
Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
My bucket. Not yours. My bucket. Go back to work, Stanley. I don't want to. I really don't. I just want to know what's going on.
Already this was uncomfortable. And
Well,
Stanley
yeah.
decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
My bucket.
Spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
My bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, I'll enter the door to my left again. Oh, it's different this time. Huh. Huh. The broom.
Stanley, can you feel it? The
What?
broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet. But coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the
You don't
boss's office.
get it. Don't deserve it. It's not yours. No, we're going down.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for it. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
That was the
His boss
same
would think
stuff.
He was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, wow.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh. Okay then, that's what's happened.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was
And watch
interrupted
Stanley
by the body of a man
on the
who
ground.
had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man
He had no bucket.
had no bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place.
That's a huge possibility.
How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on every... Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped all the way to work, sure. I don't think so. I don't think a full-on backflip, but okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I still don't think I need the bucket anymore. But, you know, you never know. Because...
Stanley
Actually.
picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again. Not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
I don't think I need the bucket anymore. I can't. Oh, maybe this is different, so maybe.
Stanley clutched the bucket
No.
tightly to his chest.
Run over to the right again.
To the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that
So far, everything you've told me is not right. So why would I follow the way you're going?
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind.
Nope, nothing's there.
It was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to them, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Actually, I might have to go down there again. Or start it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Up. Up. Yeah, nothing in there, that's right. Hey, thank you. Doo-doo. Let's see if it's any different now. Nope, it's all still the same. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding
Possibly.
Yes.
Maybe.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
What if it's not? What if I'm just a genius? What if I'm just a genius? And I'm like just the smartest person in the world? What if that? Like, that could be a possibility. And you just don't know that.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
I still haven't gone this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Oh, okay. I'm not going that way then. I don't want to go that way.
But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
I'm still...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
There's no, like... Oh, there is an up. I don't remember how to get up there. I forget, but I don't know if I need the bucket to get up there, though. That's the thing.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Remember.
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had
No.
the bucket been told to do
No.
things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
You're fine, don't worry.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Don't worry, you're okay.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Well, makes sense.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Oh no!
Gasped. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take
Maybe that's
over
exactly
the
what I
machine
needed to
and
do.
claim the power for itself?
Maybe.
How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket
Never
away in
trust the bucket.
disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Oh?
Birds. Silly, silly birds. the control buttons became active again.
Flamingos.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a
Penguins!
facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Well, that's good. I'd hope he'd be happy. Oh. I got a phone call. Somewhere.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I don't think I need the door on my left. But okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Sweet. I will take it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't know if it's any different now that...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh, so it's everything the same as before. There's nothing different.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It
Nope.
was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Who knows?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls.
So that's what happens.
After they kept you
All right.
enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll
We
find
talked about
this
I've thrown it off multiple
Stanley
times.
suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation
Do it.
in the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire
That's cool.
complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the
Endlessly.
office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control
So
wresting
now
away from
I
you.
understand.
Rich, I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colors, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
So I figured something out,
Do you really believe there's an answer?
but I still don't
How
know.
many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
Oh.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will
That
you
sucks.
cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life.
I don't know.
Fade in until the moment I say